What do I need? Right, you. Just gotta change to the light arrows. And here's another sage we have seen before. Okay guys, had a little technical hiccup right there. After I beat the spirit chamber, I came down here, lifted this giant boulder that was blocking this room, and after I did that, I looked over at my computer and noticed that my capture card was no longer recording any of my footage. Thankfully, though, you guys didn't miss anything. All you missed was the spirits cutscene of me releasing Naburu, and then you also missed me getting this rock out of the way, the cutscene for that. Those are the only two things that literally happened from the capture card freezing up, so don't worry, I didn't complete anything else. I still have everything I had beforehand, and we can properly complete the rest of this now. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and do the light chamber next. Okay, looks like we have a Dynafulse here. It's really weird that happened. Again, I must have like nudged the cable of my capture card or something. That's like the only explanation I can think of, because I really don't know why else it would do that. It never has done that before. And I don't think it's like a problem with the capture card. This capture card is very new, and I've been taking very good care of it. Which I know is surprising for me with my bad luck with technology, but trust me, I've been doing work. I'm keeping things safe. You don't have to worry about old Slim Kirby and his technology. I'm a little more observant with what I do with it these days. So this will give us a chest. This does not give you a key, though. Just gives you a recovery heart. But thankfully we have a key from another part of the dungeon, so we're good. And now we have this. This would actually be a good place for a Bonshu, honestly. Let me see if I can... Oh, damn it. Whee! Bonk. Got him out of the way. Oh, of course, that's what we have to deal with. Not really a fan of that, but, not much we can do about that, I suppose. Hello... Oh, I needed 2 keys for this place? That's selfish. I don't know how it's selfish, it just is. The hell? What are you guys here? Why are there freaking spiders on these torches? That would have actually been kind of neat if they hit like one of the Skulltulas here, but no, I believe there's just... Oh. Do I just use fire arrows for this? There's gotta be something in this room. Oh, okay. I guess the tell was that there was a Skulltula on one of them, so you have to think, oh, well maybe there's something on the other one. That makes sense, I guess. Also, another guy we haven't seen in this playthrough, but he actually looks kind of weird in this game. Probably still better than what he looks like in the original, but still. Very weird looking dude, for sure. So, with that, we only have one more trial left. We have the fire trial. And oh my god, guys, I actually made it through Ganon's tower with my blue tunic. Something that did not happen in the original playthrough of Vanilla Ocarina of Time. Oh, yep. So it is asking for us to wear this again. Which is okay, I guess. Wow, they really, really wanted to work over this room. Hello. Okay. Get rid of this guy now. What do we got over here? Okay, nope, can't do that. But there is this cutscene. So yeah, I couldn't show the first Golden Gauntlets cutscene, but here's this one. Hopefully this one will suffice. And I was actually gonna mention too in the first cutscene how I like when Link throws it. Like he throws it at the like castle area in the middle. I like to think it was Link trying to break the barrier, thinking, you know, this might actually work. That's what I've always thought of when it comes to this game. So I like to think that as the canon, I guess. Crap! Oh wow, Link! I am honestly surprised you made that. I'm just going to use bomb shoes for this because he's right here. Yep. Okay, let's go ahead and pick up this thing too. Oh wow, there's actually a rupee in the sky. How the hell am I supposed to get that? Okay, let's look at what we have. We have a rupee over there. We have a rupee over there. Have a bomb shoe for some reason. I didn't mean to press that. Is there any like hookshot points or anything I don't see? Because that's what I like feel like I would be missing here. I just don't want to use too much of my magic power here. Alright, oh wait, no, you know what? This is what I have to do. Oh shoot. Okay, I know what I have to do. Just have to get to the one that actually raises up, and that'll probably be the, oh shoot, no! Oh, thank God that did not screw me over. Okay, I'm thinking of what I probably have to do for the one over there. For this one, I just have to grab this. But yeah, there's probably a platform over there that raises up. See, like that one right there. Let's see, let's go back over here. Let me see what exactly I'm dealing with. Yeah, this one has to raise up. It doesn't. Okay. This is the one that raises up. I'm gonna do it again, though, because I can't really see what's going on. I knew that was gonna happen! I'm gonna have to collect them all again. Oh my god. I knew I had a feeling that I was not all the way over on that. Hold on, guys. Okay, I got this one now. I still have to grab this one over here, but, this one shouldn't be too bad. Oh, man. You know, I had a feeling I was gonna do that, too. Like, literally, when I saw that I had to land on, like, a small platform, I'm like, I'm gonna miss this. And, like, I didn't want to go too far forward, which is why I didn't go very far. But, that ended up screwing me over anyway, so... Funny thing, this game. But yeah, I think that's actually the last puzzle in this playthrough. Because, like, I really don't think they change anything, like, moving on up to the final confrontation with Ganon. I think it's quite literally just, yeah, this is the rest of the game, pretty much. Am I actually... Okay, no. I thought maybe that I'd be able to latch onto that, but no, it's okay. But before we actually climb that part of the temple, I will, go pick up something. Again, if you've played this game, you know exactly what I'm picking up, but, there is one more item I can get, and I'm gonna grab it just to be safe, because I do take double damage from bosses, and it's a very good defensive upgrade to get, so I probably will get it anyway. You can call me a wuss, but I don't care. I want that upgrade. And yep, that was our sworn brother Darunia breaking the fire link for us. And allowing us access to the final part of Ganon's Tower. So I'm going to go take care of a few loose ends, and then I'll be back to make the final climb. I don't think it'll change much, but even if it doesn't change, there are some things that I probably want to talk about, so I'll probably use that time to actually do that. So yeah, hold on guys. Okay guys, we are back inside Ganon's castle. I have the double defense upgrade now, which means I'll take half damage from any enemy in the game, really. So I think that since this is Master Quest and you take double damage to begin with, we're back to normal now, I think. I think that's how it works. Unless these give you, like, double defense, but I don't know. Probably not. So while we're coming up here, I guess I'll start talking about... First of all, I guess I'll talk about Ganon's Tower, overall, how this dungeon was. Honestly, I did like this dungeon. I actually like both this dungeon and the Gerudo Training Grounds. They didn't offer, like, anything, like, too out there or too amazing, but, I don't know. It was unique how you had to solve the puzzles, I guess, and it actually did make you do it in a more strict order, where, you know, you had to go get a key, or a few keys, from different parts of the temple, to use them in another part of the temple, which I guess you could see as, like, being rude and unnecessary, but I didn't mind it too much. Usually go to the start of the... Usually start with the Shadow variant anyway, so... Really wasn't that big of a deal, honestly. But yeah, like, yeah, these last two dungeons have been fun. Much better than the frickin' Spirit Temple, like... I was talking about that a little bit in the Gerudo Training Grounds, but I was just really disappointed by the Spirit Temple. Like, very disappointed. So, yeah, like, I'm glad that things got better the further we went along in this. Because that really could have been bad, like, to have the playthrough end on kind of a sour note. Okay, can you please attack? This guy's not doing anything. If his friend could respawn, he would have respawned by now. You are not letting go of your defenses, are you? Okay, there we go. Got that. And yeah, it looks like the second part of Ganon's Tower doesn't really change at all. Seems like just to be the very simple gauntlet with a few, big-time enemies, the Dinofoals, then the Stalfos, and if we go up one more, we'll have an Iron Knuckle or two, so... Yeah, this part here doesn't really change, but, you know, it was a good way for me to kind of sum up my thoughts, I suppose, so... Wasn't too bad. And here I can fight, these guys one-on-one. Supposed to be two-on-one, but, I don't play by the rules, as you guys know. Now that your friend's dead, I'll get your other friend. Or now that your friend's dead, I'll start fighting you now. I would like to get those parts, though. That's okay. I got one of the hearts anyway. Maybe two. Okay. Your armor's gone. Your armor's gone and you are dead. Hip hip hooray. It actually makes me wonder if the escape sequence is going to change. Probably not, but I don't know. If it does, I'll show whatever changes they have, I guess. Because yeah, I'm not going to show the escape sequence. I'll show, because it is the end, I'll go ahead and show off the two battles, because I have been showing all the boss fights. But I think that's all I'm going to show. And maybe part of the credits, or probably all the credits. It's a good credit sequence anyway, so maybe good to show that off as well. Then I can give my thoughts on the entire project so far. But yeah, like, I wouldn't say that Ganon's Tower or Gerudo Training Grounds were my favorite dungeons in this playthrough, but for what they were, they didn't suck. Oh boy. We've made it, folks. Hey, it's that princess that we didn't see the entire playthrough. Well, technically we did. We did see Sheik in the ice cavern, and We all know that Zelda is Sheik and Sheik is Zelda. They are one in the same. No matter what 10-year-old Slim would believe, they are the same. We also have, I guess we also have our, like, main antagonist here, too. Although we did fight his Phantom in the Forest Temple, so I guess he's not so much a stranger. I actually like his look. Like, his look in this game is really, really cool. And, like, I know it's just, like, a modded version of the N64 Ganon as it is, but, like, still, I think he does look better in this. He looks more refined, I guess you could say. But yeah, this fight, not really too bad. Much like the Phantom Ganon fight. Gotta play a game of tennis with him. And when he does that, shoot a light arrow at him. Okay, I got some good hits on him right there. Jump slashes are your friend, for sure. What if I beat this guy, like, really, really fast? And I haven't gotten hit yet, so that's good. And I got a stab. And, like, something I never really knew, like, I knew the jump slashes. Like, I know that jump slashes do, like, extra damage to Ganondorf, or to bosses. But, like, apparently the stabbing motion, which I think you can only do when you're locked onto an enemy, that also does double damage. So if you use, like, a stab motion or the jump slash, you're essentially doing the same amount of damage. For the most part, anyway. Yeah, nope. Feels weird not using the hover boots, because normally I do to get back from the ledge. Which, I could put the hover boots on. They are in my inventory right there. You know what? Sure, why not? And there we go. That was a very quick Ganondorf fight. Didn't take any damage either, so that was simple. And here, is he gonna do it? Is he gonna do it? Oh, he coughed up the green. Come on, Nintendo. There's nothing wrong with blood. This guy killed people. This guy killed an entire kingdom. As long as the guy is dead and we know he's dead, there shouldn't be a problem with showing a little bit of blood, but I get... whatever. I'm not even going to get into that argument right now. Okay, so we do have the escape sequence right here. I think I am going to go ahead and cut some footage, but if something does change, I'll definitely cut back. But it's the exact same. It's like you just go down the tower as it's crumbling. Literally nothing different about it. So yeah, I'll be right back. And before Ganondorf puts a giant Song of Time block right in front of the gate. Seriously, they should have done that. Why didn't they do that? That actually would have been just like a very, very humorous nod to the Master Quest version of this game. Just having that happen at some point. But yeah, as expected, nothing changed. I didn't think it did, but there could have been so much potential for the change stuff, too. It's kind of lame. Kind of lame that they just don't touch any of that second part of Ganon's Tower. And I mean, I can understand why, because it's very linear, but still, I don't know. Kind of a missed opportunity, as I already said. What they could have done is they could have hidden, like, the boss key in, like, one of the random trial rooms, but, like, made it really well hidden. And in the room with the boss key normally, they would have given you, like, a recovery hard chest or something. And there'd be some clue in that room that says, you can find the real treasure somewhere in here or something. That's so cool. Why didn't they do that? Like, I know backtracking's frustrating, but that would have been... I don't know, that would have been cooler than just not changing anything. Don't say that yet, Zelda. It's not over yet. It's not over yet. And shut up, Navi. You didn't do crap anyway. Also, those facial expressions. There really are some good facial expressions of Link in this game, I feel like. So kudos to the master, or not master, the 3DS developers, graphic designers for this game. Everything really does look amazing. Seriously. I kind of actually like Ganon being like very dark and ominous right there, though, where you couldn't really see his face. 'Cause he's that consumed by the darkness. Wow, this actually looks really cool too. But yeah, like, before I get into like finishing up the Master Quest discussion, let me just say that I think the 3DS version of Ocarina of Time, it honestly is the definitive version of this game. Like, seriously. Like, they really did a good job porting this game to the 3DS console. Again, I guess you can't really call it a port, but what's the word everyone keeps using for this game? I mean, it's not really a port because it doesn't, they obviously added new content and stuff to it. Not a lot, but I mean, can you really call it a reimagining? Because it's still the same game, too, so... Again, someone said, the correct name for what this game would be classified as, and I'm just blanking on what the term was. Oh, wow, he does a lot of damage. I mean, I guess that's normal damage, though, because, again, we have the double defense right now. So yeah, this is a pretty simple boss, honestly. You roll under him, hit him with one of your items, hit him in the tail anyway, and then repeat the process. Very, very simple, and you can use a variety of objects for this. You can use the Megaton Hammer, you can use the hook shot / long shot, you can use light arrows. If you have the big Goron sword, you can use that, because they do technically get rid of the Master Sword, not the big Goron sword. Hello. I'm sorry, was I rude in hitting you while you were still trying to get up? I don't really care. I don't really care. But yeah, seriously, kudos to the developers of Ocarina of Time 3D. They really did do a great job bringing the game not only to a handheld console, but also fixing all the little nuances that I didn't really care for in the original Ocarina of Time, like the whole the shoes equipment thing that made the water temple a little more annoying and tedious. And again, it just really solid job, seriously. I'm glad this was... I don't think it was a launch title, but it was definitely one of the first games on the 3DS. And I think it was good that it was. You could say that, oh, well, it's not a new game, it's just an old game, remastered, but maybe remastered is the name I'm looking for. But even then, remastered could also assume that you make changes to it as well. But yeah, it's really good. This is the definitive version of Ocarina of Time, I think. Say what you want. If you have nostalgia for the old, that's fine. But still, this is very, very friendly. A very friendly version of Ocarina of Time, and very accessible too. And plus, you can get this for only like $20. Because I think it's a Nintendo Selects, so you can get this pretty cheap, honestly. And like they include Master Quest with it. So you have essentially two games, like two versions of the same game, in one tiny little 3DS cartridge. It's perfect. Honestly, it was, like, I can't really say it was hard going back to the N64 version for the Let's Play when I did that. Because, I mean, the N64 version holds up very well, too. And if you want just, like, a cheap version of the game, yeah, you could probably just get it on, like, Virtual Console or something. But, like, if you have, like, an extra $10, just go for this version if you have a 3DS. It's such a great game, and it was just a good thing to kind of start the 3DS going. Because the 3DS is a really, really great handheld. It has a lot of really great games on it. And, especially with all, like, the Street Pass stuff, the Street Pass Mii Plaza stuff. It's just a console you can just take with you, play all the time. There's a lot of great games for it. That's what makes a successful handheld, in my book, anyway. But yeah, that's it. We defeated Ganon. Hyrule has been saved. Kind of talked over some of the... I just thought of something. Hold on. Okay, now I'm good. I was really scared that I had my mouse cursor. Because, like, I am using a capture device. But I still find that when... Like, because I use window capture on my OBS, like, if I leave my mouse cursor in that window, it'll show up, but according to this, it's not showing up, so I think I'm fine. I would be so mad if that happened. If it did, I'd just, like, re-record the ending part, I guess, but, like, still. Thank God. Okay, so I guess I'll start talking about kind of my overall opinion of Master Quest. I was definitely very enthusiastic going into this project, and honestly, like, that enthusiasm kept with the entire playthrough. Like, I was always very excited about, like, the dungeon that was coming up next and all the changes that it would have. And even though there were a few disappointments in the playthrough, overall, like, this was still a lot of fun to go through, and it's a great game. It's a great game to play through again, even though I played through Ocarina of Time, like, only a few months ago. It was cool just to come back to this and play it on another platform and play a kind of a more improved version, and also kind of a more challenging version. Overall, I wouldn't say Master Quest is really, like, challenging or the hard version of Ocarina of Time. I think it is in the sense that you take double damage from enemies and stuff, and that's what kind of makes it the harder version, I think, is because of that. Because, yeah, the dungeons, they don't really get that much harder, it's just that they're different puzzles. Like, I feel like Ocarina of Time, like, the game may seem easier to a lot of people, but they've also grown up with that version, and they've had that version for a really long time. And heck, it's probably the version you're going to play first, no matter what. Then if you get to Master Quest, you're going to be thinking about all the original games, like, puzzles and how you solve them, and then you miss out on, like, very small things that you use to solve puzzles in this game. A big example of that was stuff like in the bottom of the well and just other dungeons where you had to look around the room and find something out of place, whether it was a torch somewhere, whether it was like a piece of land mass that was like misshapen or looked different or looked odd. Stuff like that. There were a lot of puzzles that relied on just kind of noticing very little things. And I'm not the most observant gamer, for sure. I think a lot of people can probably agree with me when I say that. I'm definitely not the most observant person at all when it comes to video games. So, like, a lot of those things where it's like, oh, okay, there was a crystal switch here, I didn't notice it. Like, that stuff would happen a lot more often. And, again, bottom of the well was a good example of that. There was that one crystal switch that, lowered the water level that was right where you would normally lower the water level. I just didn't think to look at the guy in the background and saw that, oh, in one of his hands he has a crystal switch. And then, like, that one painting where, like, one of the eyes were, like, miscolored or something. That's like, oh, okay, well, that's a switch right there. So yeah, there were a lot of solutions that relied on that, but honestly, there were some very clever other puzzles as well. So going through all the dungeons again, kind of in order. Great Deku Tree. I think it's fine. It's a harder version of the Deku Tree, as it was, so that worked out pretty well. Really liked the Dongo's Cavern. I thought that was a really unique experience going through the Master Quest version of that. Made some unique changes where you had to kind of approach the dungeon in a different way, where you'd actually cover the top before you covered the bottom, which was very, very interesting. And some of the puzzles were pretty clever for that as well. Jabu Jabu wasn't bad. It was just really, really weird, especially with all the cow switches. So I don't really have much to say about that. Like, there were some interesting parts of that, but it was mostly weird more than anything. Forest Temple, I really loved the Forest Temple, except for the Song of Time puzzles. Those were kind of odd, and they were handled in a very weird way, but for the most part, I did like the Forest Temple aside from that. Fire Temple, no strong opinion one way or the other. It's kind of disappointing how, like, a large part of the dungeon you don't even have to explore. But, in terms of getting, like, all the items at first and then just trying to figure out how to get to that room, that was uniquely done. I did like that aspect of it, but again, they didn't really use the whole temple, I feel like, which is kind of a shame. And the same goes for the Water Temple, too. Like, the Water Temple was definitely easier. I got really, really lost, though, and again, it was due to me just, like, not noticing a few things, and that was really my only hang-up with the Water Temple. For the most part, it's still really, like, it's much easier in this game than it is in the original Ocarina of Time. And again, I don't even think it's that much harder anymore, like the normal Water Temple. It's just that, you know, when you're first going through it, you're definitely going to be kind of thrown through a bit of a loop, I think, just because you don't think of everything, and there's like a lot of rooms to explore, that kind of thing. But again, because you don't really explore much of the Water Temple in Master Quest, like, it's not as hard because you don't really have a lot of options to work with. I guess that's what makes it kind of easier. Shadow Temple was pretty much the same. Had some new puzzles. You had to do a little bit of backtracking at one point, but it wasn't like a super amount of backtracking. I thought it was fine. The Bomb Flower puzzle with the dead hand was kind of weird, but for the most part, it was fine. Probably, honestly, yeah, I think this the Shadow Temple is probably my favorite adult dungeon. Maybe the Forest Temple. Again, it all comes down to whether I like the Song of Time block puzzle or not, really, in the Forest Temple. Spirit Temple, I had a lot of problems with it. It was probably my least favorite dungeon. I just don't like the puzzles they used. I just could not get behind. It was like you had to do things in very weird orders. And again, it probably suffered from the same thing that Fire Temple and Water Temple suffered from, is that part of the dungeon was optional, so you had to like write that off, like write that out of the equation, and you didn't even realize it. But yeah, I didn't really like the Spirit Temple that much. As for the mini dungeons, Ice Cavern was okay. Didn't really like Bottom of the Well either. Bottom of the Well was kind of not very straightforward, and there were a lot of things you had to notice, but I liked it better than the Spirit Temple, at least. At least it tried to use a lot of different things in that dungeon. And it had you kind of like explore every area, where in the original is like, oh, just get the Lens of Truth and get out of there. I already talked about it already, but Gerudo Training Grounds, that was also pretty good. I enjoyed playing through that. And Ganon's Tower, like, the first part was great. I really enjoyed the first part, all the trials and stuff, but second part, they didn't exactly do anything. So yeah, that's pretty much my opinion of all the dungeons. Straight and to the point. They used a lot of Song of Time puzzles in the game, which some of them were used cleverly, some weren't. Just really odd they used that a lot. And the other major trend was that they didn't really use like some parts of the dungeons to the extent they could. Dungeons like the Fire Temple, Water Temple, and Spirit Temple. Which is odd, because I feel like in the original Ocarina of Time, like, all the rooms are used, and they're used really effectively to the point where it's like, okay, there is a nice flow here, but, like, it almost seemed like they were trying to minimalize those dungeons and Master Quest, and it's like, oh, well, we'll just put, like, some Skulltulas here or something and have them work their way to get those, as opposed to, like, figuring out the main gimmick of the temple, and technically being done, but then just, like, not being done. If you kind of get what I'm saying. So here we have some extra credits, I guess. So we have the main game credits, and now we have the other credits, I guess. Hopefully this goes by pretty quickly, because I don't really have much else to say. Overall, it was definitely fun going through this game and going through Master Quest. I really enjoyed it. And, like, I'm glad I did. I know that I skipped, like, a lot of stuff in the playthrough, but, like, the only thing that really changes are the dungeons. That's all that needed to be shown. And, like, I didn't really do the whole game again. I feel like that would have been very, very redundant. I could have waited, like, maybe a year or so and then done it again, but, like, I kind of wanted to be, like, just finished with Ocarina of Time. So I can, like, start working on other Zelda games, because there's still a lot of Zelda games I still have to record and do for the channel, honestly. A lot of handheld Zeldas, a lot of console Zeldas, just Zelda. But yeah, what did you guys think of Master Quest? I gave my thoughts. What do you guys think? And I guess as an added question to that, like, do you like this idea better, where they kind of like change the puzzles and stuff like that, or do you just kind of just prefer the hero mode playthrough, where it's basically the game gets harder, but like only in the sense that you take more damage, and you, like, in some hero modes you can't recover hearts. I believe that was the case for Wind Waker's hard mode, hero mode, whatever you want to call it. Like, you couldn't recover health, and I think you took, like, a lot more damage too, and that's what made it harder than the original game. But, like, they didn't, like, change any of the dungeons or anything. They kept the dungeons the same. They kept all the puzzles the same. Just the game got harder. That's really about it. So, yeah, do you enjoy, like, the hero mode more? Do you enjoy Master Quest more? Technically, the original Zelda did the second quest, which was kind of a mix of both, I think. I mean, it got harder, but they also changed the puzzles inside dungeons and also in the overworld, too. So, like, level 1 wasn't where level 1 was in the original game, so maybe you prefer that type of second quest as opposed to Master Quest or the other one. I don't know, just a few things to think about, I guess. Okay, and with that, the credits have ended, so now I can start wrapping things up. I want to thank everybody for watching this playthrough, the Master Quest playthrough, and the original playthrough by extension. It was really fun to go through this game, not once, but twice in, like, the last few months. Really enjoyable game. It's not my favorite game of all time, or even my favorite Zelda game, but I can definitely see why people think that way, because it is a very enjoyable experience, and it's a lot of fun to play through, so, you know, if people say that Ocarina of Time is their favorite Zelda, I can definitely understand why. It's a classic game for sure. And it's definitely a very, very well-made Zelda game and very well-made video game in addition to that. And, yeah, that's pretty much my thoughts on Ocarina of Time as a whole. As far as the 3DS version is concerned, like I said before, it is the definitive version of Ocarina of Time, at least in my opinion. So if you have a 3DS, definitely pick it up. It's a great game, and it's definitely worth every single penny, at least in my eyes. And as far as some other changes that I didn't really highlight from the, guess the 3DS playthrough, because I really only focused on the dungeons, there is a few significant features that gets introduced in the 3DS version. The first is the Sheikah Stone, which is basically just kind of a small cutscene of sorts, where you basically you go inside the Sheikah Stone. It's like a little cave or something, and it'll actually show you kind of a clip of an upgrade or some kind of secret side quest item that you may have missed in the game. So you can kind of use that to try and get 100% if you're not really sure where to go or something of that nature. Some people may not like that. They may think it's kind of like the super guide that appears in a lot of Nintendo platformers. And I can understand why people not liking that. But again, you don't have to use it either. So it's just one of those things, or if you want to 100% it for the first time, you can kind of use that as a way to kind of track your progress or something. So that is cool in that right, but I definitely wouldn't use that. I'd want to try to find everything on my own for sure. So that is the first edition. You can also only do that in the original version of the game. That will not appear in the Master Quest version, so that's another reason why you wouldn't have seen that anyway. And the second thing that gets introduced is if you actually sleep in Link's house, yeah, you can actually sleep in Link's house, you actually get the option to fight the bosses again in Ocarina of Time. So you can fight like all the bosses from the game. And once you beat all 8 of the main bosses, you actually get a secret mode called the Boss Rush, which you basically fight all the bosses in the game in a specified order. I don't know if it's like the exact order you fight the bosses, but you basically fight all the bosses in the game. You do it with only 5 hearts. After you beat each boss, you have a treasure chest, which can give you some upgrades, can give you some hearts or something. So it's a very unique challenge. I guess I could have showed that off, but I'll just kind of do what my normal thing is for those types of challenges. Maybe one day in the future I'll stream it or something and then show it in a stream highlight or something like that. And then I'll, of course, upload that to YouTube as well. So do not worry. You will not be empty-handed on that front. So yeah, those are some of the other changes that happened in the 3DS version. Obviously, there's a lot of visual changes and a lot of other random updates, but they didn't really affect the game too much. They're just kind of like production quality additions, I guess you could say. So yeah, I think that's going to wrap it up. Thank you again for watching, everybody. I will see you later for my next project. Later, folks.